Don't say smart.
Mister, what's your most amount of views on YouTube? Your most amount of views on.
2K.
We already discussed this, bro. Not gonna get it.
2K. Check. 2K.
You did?
2,000.
Oh yeah, that's just it.
I don't know.
I'm looking for the camera to say hi. Probably. I don't know. Who else you want? Yeah, I would look.
Y'all go sit down.
I'll say get one guard. You know, walk around this way. Walk around this way.
No. All right, get your notes out.
I use this actually. That's a really nice jacket, by the way.
Ross.
Ross? Whoa.
Rocks.
Dress for less.
No, that's no problem, Ross. Ross is great.
Ross is amazing.
Ross is good when it's not sloppy. Yeah, he's not wrong. Like when the clothes on the floor and when they actually stop. What?
Ross is better than this.
No, it's actually Ralph Lauren. Thank you.
I
I mean,
don't know how can you wear that inside this.
What are you talking about?
Like an old man. Look like something I would wear.
Oh, there it is.
You know it's bad. Network.
All right, so shh. Carrie, put your computer away. Need to make another phone call.
What? I was on the live stream. I
Uh-huh.
can testify.
All right, no, I mean homework.
Oh, you're just homework?
Okay, so right now we're gonna go through the most important thing in Algebra 2. It's called composite functions. So yesterday we learned about all the basic standard operation. They are very self-explanatory. Adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying. The dividing, only thing you have to worry about is the restriction. So the denominator cannot equal to 0. So that you should write down x cannot equal to 3/5 on the homework. But so this is called composite function. A lot of you guys say I don't know what a composite function is. So this is the composite function. Composite function. So so some people call it fog function, F-O-G, so fog. So the reason that this notation is very important is the function within the functions. So let's read something more important here is when you have an O, that means of.
Oh.
Yeah. So so anytime you see a O, that means of. Anytime you see a parenthesis, that also means of. So if you know that, okay, if you know that, that's gonna be f of g of x. That's how you read it properly. Now, a lot of you guys says, you know, math is really difficult, but no, math is not difficult. Math is just a language. If you understand that language, it's a syntax. If you use the syntax properly, then you're gonna solve the problem very easily. So now if you look at here, if that means of, what does of mean? Well, of means parentheses. Okay, of means parentheses. So in this case, I'm gonna say f, right? And we're gonna have a parenthesis because that's f of, and g of x. Do you see that?
Wait.
So that's basically what's that parenthesis mean. So that's gonna be, now I'm gonna close the parenthesis now. So this is up, and this is up. So it's much easier to read it if you read it this way. It's much easier to read it this way. Okay? Question about that? So again, the call function is same thing. This is up, and this is up. So that means this is up, this is up. So that means g of f of x. Can you have g of f of g of x? Yeah, you can. Can you have f of x? Yeah, you can. Can you have a Gauss function, g of x? So those are the basic standard things. So we're gonna define a function. So this is what we're gonna define. We're gonna define the functions. We're gonna define the functions as f of x and g of x as follow. As follow. And then we're gonna say f of x is equal to negative 2x squared and a plus 3. And the g of x is equal to negative 3x plus 4. So erase this part. So we say, hey, can you find f of g of x? That I'm gonna rewrite as f of g of x. Are we okay here? Sorry, I'm gonna use black. Black better. F of g of x. Of g of x. That's equal to f of. I'm gonna use purple here so that way you can see. G of x. So for me, if I have a couple of different pencils, I write on notes properly is that inside function is going to be g of x. Now, if you understand parenthesis operation, the parenthesis operation starts from inside out. I always go from inside out. Okay? So now this function is going to be f of g of x. Then I can say that's equal to, if I start from inside out, I can replace that g of x. What is g of x in this case?
Negative 3x plus 4.
Yep. So I'm going to say negative 3x plus 4. Question about doing this part. That's very easy. Substitution, going from inside out. Now we're going to go through one more time. Now this second time is harder, but you have to recognize what is f of x. What is the f of x? Negative 2x squared plus 3, right? So I'm going to say that's equal to, I'm not going to write x. So for me, I don't write x. I'm going to write down parentheses though. So you see that usually I'll put an x right here, but instead of place x, I'm going to substitute this function in there. So usually f of x, that just substitute x for x. But if I have f of x plus 3, then it's going to be negative 2 of parentheses x plus 3 squared plus 3. So I'm just replacing that x with the x plus 3. But in this case, I'm replacing that x with what? This purple thing right here. So that's why I color code for you. So it'll be negative 3x plus 4. Now I just had to finish the rest of the math part. So this is the hardest part for students to understand. So replace that x with g of x. So that's going to become a new function. Now I can simplify this by distributing this. So if I know how to distribute, I just don't kill puppy. So that's going to be negative 3x plus 4 times negative 3x plus 4 plus 3. Are we okay here?
Yeah.
I'm going to distribute this. So we 9x squared minus 12x minus 12x plus 16 plus 3. And that's equal to negative 2 times 9x squared. I'm going to combine like term because I think that's easier. And I'll distribute a negative 2 in there. So it'll be negative 18x squared plus 48x minus 32 plus 3. That's equal to negative 18x squared plus 48x and then minus 29. So that becomes f of g of x.
Then you figure what that was more.
What?
So you wrote that really small.
Sorry. What? If you subscribe me, it's on live stream. Got it?
Yeah.
So my question for you is, can you find g of f of x? I give you an easy one, I did the hard one. So what is g of f of x? So here's for you to do. And try it. And it's much easier. How many guys are finished? Good. So 8 students are finished. Give it 1 more minute. Right on to finish. Are now you finished? Is Elena or Elena? Session. What's your first name? Yes, you. Blue sweater. What's your name?
Andrea.
Huh?
Andrea.
Andrea. Oh, I got completely wrong. Huh? Part of your name. Or part of your first name. Oh, okay. You don't use that, you use Andrea. I didn't know that. I thought I got a name completely wrong. How many of you guys got 6x squared minus 5?
Who know?
How many of you guys did not get 6x squared minus 5? Did not? Should I go over it?
Please.
Okay, so that's equal to what? G of f of x this time, so I'm gonna do f of x. What is f of x? So I'm gonna do that with the color coding so you can see it. Now I'm gonna do g, and what is f of x in this case? F of x is
-2x squared plus 3.
negative 2x squared plus 3, right? So that means I'm gonna go to g for the g function. Is equal to negative 3, so instead of this, I'm gonna just get a habit of write down parentheses. So that's gonna be negative 2x squared plus 3. So that's equal to 6x squared minus 9 plus 4. That's equal to 6x squared minus 5.
Is that a 4?
Yeah, that's 4.
Question about this part. Fairly easy.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna try next one. This is gonna be evaluated as an expression. Now, what if I want to evaluate as a number evaluation here? So let's just say if I were to do f of g of pick a number.
4.
4. Okay, fine. I'm picking 4 here. So for me, I can plug in 4 into this function. Oh,
Can we?
that's pretty ugly number, but 4 squared 61.
1. If it's ugly, then that's fine.
Okay, that's fine. It should be working. Okay, so for what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do f of g of 4, right? But do I know what a g of 4 is? That means I plug in the 4 into the g function. So I'm gonna do this on the side, okay, on the side, so we're gonna do this on the side. So we're gonna say what is g of 4 is. So what is g of 4? That's equal to -3 times 4 plus 4, right? So that's equal to -12 plus 4. That's equal to what? -8, thank you. So then I'm gonna do is equal to f of -8. Then I'm gonna go to -8 into the g function, into the f function. So that's gonna be -2. That's equal to what? -2 times square plus 3, and I'm gonna plug in -8 there. I'm gonna follow order operation. The order operation says multiplication first or the exponent first? Exponent, so it'll be -2 times 64, right?
Yeah.
Plus 3. That's equal to -128 plus 3. That's equal to -125. And that's my answer. Very nicely. So my question to ask you is, can you tell me what a g of f is? Pick a number.
2.
7.
Six.
7's kind of
Six.
ugly.
Six.
I'm gonna pick a -2. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
Wait. I got that.
So if you get it right, you should get 2-digit number. Those two-digit number add together is probably 10,
So many possibilities.
I think.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Somebody did it very fastly. So it should be a 2-digit number, add up to be 10. If you did it correctly. George, I would take a good nap. So comfortable. Envy of you.
Mister, what time do you usually get to school?
7:19.
For real? Oh my
By the time I walk into here, I have my whole class lined up outside.
That's
That
funny.
was so accurate.
Huh?
That was so accurate. You said 7:19.
Sometimes 7:21. I open the door when I pledge allegiance.
How's that traffic?
Huh?
The traffic?
No, I just cut people off.
Wow, you're one of those. I hate people like that.
I was
My
gonna say
sister-
something here, I can't say it.
My sister can't do that. I've been telling her to cut people off because if people do it, so it's like, why not? She doesn't do it. It's annoying.
I had Asian.
We'll be waiting a 15-minute line.
That was like 20 minutes wait.
Yeah, literally.
Just sit there and just like. But today actually nobody showed up to school, so I don't have to cut anybody off. Okay, any question about this? You should get 19. Did you get 19?
No.
So G of f of -2. So I'm gonna work out f of -2 on the side. What is -2? So -2 times -2 squared plus 3. That's equal to -2 times 4 plus 3. That's equal to -8 plus 3. That's equal to what?
-5.
-5. So then that's gonna be G of -5. So I'm gonna plug in -5 into the G. So it'll be -3 times -5. plus 4. That's equal to 15 plus 4. That's equal to 19. Two-digit number added to be 10.
Oh.
Probably somebody don't know how to add, Jose.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Oh, you do the.
I do it on the side. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna teach you also something else. You gotta learn how to read a graph, so you guys gonna have to turn around and look at the back. There was 2 graphs there. So now this graph, so if you need to move your seat. I know Aaron cannot see anything. So I'm going to call this graph f of x. I'm going to call this graph of g of x. So g of x, I'm going to use blue. So g of x, oh, that's not blue, it's not good. Purple is good. So purple is going to be g of x. Do you see that graph? You guys see this? Okay. So what do I want to ask you here? I want to ask you first is,
Golly.
what is f of 2? F of 2 in this function just means when x equal to 2, what is the output, which is y, for f function? Okay, so what I'm going to do is this is 2. 2 is the x value. So I'm going to go to 1, 2. And then I'm going to go to f function. Which one's the f?
The top line.
The top line. So the answer is going to be 1, 2, 3. So the output is 3. So the answer is 3. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's it. So can you tell me what is g of negative 4? What is g of negative 4 is? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Write it down. Because if Jose say it, then other people start thinking.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, AJ, what's your answer?
2.
You're stupid.
Oh. Don't do that. That's on live stream. Don't embarrass AJ in front of everybody.
Yeah, alright.
What's wrong with you? I don't promote that, by the way.
That's okay.
That's bullying.
Okay, alright.
So x value is negative 4.
Uh-huh.
1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go to g function. Which one is g function? The orange or the black?
Orange.
Orange. So here is 1. My output is 1. So answer is 1.
Well, I did positive 4, that's why.
Brother. Wait, so what line though?
The, F.
Okay.
Doesn't it, it still don't work?
No.
Damn.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to ask you. What is f of g of negative 2? Okay, don't shout it. Write your answer down. What is f of g of negative 2?
Fire.
It's an even number. And it's a positive. If you get it right, it's going to be even number. And it's a positive. Tiffany, what you got?
4.
Is that even number?
Yeah.
Is that positive value?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's a 4. How many of you guys did not get 4? Raise your hand if you did not get a 4. You did not? I'm just kidding. I can't say that live. F of G of -2, that's a lawsuit right there. I'll be on channel 2. Cypress Creek High School, call student A. So and so. It's being investigated for. Okay, so G of -2, that's gonna say, I'm gonna go to -2, 1, 2, right? That's negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to G function. G function is the bottom one, so we don't look at the output for the bottom function, which is 1. -1, sorry. F of -1. Do you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna go to F of -1, so it's gonna be F of -1 here.
Wait, it's -2.
No, I'm gonna go to -1 now. So -1 here, I'm gonna look at the output for the F. F is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's equal to 4.
I'm out.
Because you have to see where G of -2 is and then with that.
Okay, try again. What is G of F of let's say it's 5. 5. Let's do 5.
Alright, let me try.
Shh, don't shout it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can you stop counting out loud?
No.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is kind of fun.
But it'll be more fun if I get it.
Is it an even or odd number?
It's an odd number and it's negative.
It's G of X and G of Y.
Nicholas, what do you think?
I don't know.
Ludisa, what do you think? No? Hannah?
Okay, like.
Okay, so you can teach each other. The answer is what? Okay, Alani? -5 is right.
So go that way 5, right? Yeah, you have to go 5, right? And then go to F, which is 2.
So it's drawn by this. That's equal to G of F of 5.
Mystery of the looks like
I got that part.
Okay, so now F of 5, so it's gonna be uno, dos, cuatro. I don't know. Uno, dos, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Right? So that's gonna be output is what? 2. So that's G of 2.
Of 2.
I feel stupid.
Okay, so uno, dos, and look at the G function. G function is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Courtney would be so proud
So
of me.
it's cinco.
Yeah.
Negative.
You did it.
Negative cinco, yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now you look at G of 2?
Yes.
Oh, alright.
Now, who's stupid now? Okay, my favorite function.
No.
I didn't say who. So now my favorite function is this.
No.
No, please.
Ready?
No.
What?
It's a fuck off.
A what?
A fuck off.
Oh my god.
Look, it's a fuck off. F of G of F. It's a fuck off. Right?
Is that a 1?
Yeah.
I mean, the head
F.
is a little better.
Of G of F. So fuck off.
I have my answer.
It's a fuck off.
Bingo. I have my answer.
I don't curse. I don't curse.
Okay.
Clearly.
I call people donkeys, but I do not curse. I don't.
Oh,
He just says pooping monkey.
Yeah.
Is it even or on?
Oh,
It's on.
it's a ends up positive.
It's
It's odd?
Let me double check.
It's odd. No.
It's
yo,
even.
how do you guys get this?
It's
Why
even.
do you think you look like
It's,
you look
it's
like I
even
get this?
positive.
Yeah, it's even positive.
Yeah, so I got it right.
Any idea what it is?
Okay, so go on.
I'm dead.
What? No, that's the
What?
Come on, you guys can do this. You gotta
I
try.
go up there and says it's ridiculous. Yo, you know me, I would actually raise my hand and say that. So I would actually raise my hand and say that. Because I know it's wrong, now I'm not gonna say it.
Oh no, and then that's.
So you got his answer.
No, I don't. No, I
So yeah,
don't.
you must answer. He has his answer.
AJ, what's your answer?
I don't know. I don't know. Wait.
Wait.
It's a
What is the
even.
last thing? Wait, wait me a second.
It's even. It's greater than 2.
Oh.
Really?
No, greater than 2.
You got rid of one answer. Literally one.
No, you got rid of all. What do you?
You got -2.
Oh, no, let me stop talking. Let me actually stop talking.
Oh.
Yeah, facts.
Yo, how do you get this, bro?
Positive.
Okay.
Positive number.
I can.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Because sometimes when I say it, you guys don't pay attention. When other people say, I get it, I say the exact same thing.
Oh.
Wait, can I erase this?
Yeah,
Yeah, just toilet paper, it's okay.
I
Harry, your YouTube star now.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Okay, so you go over 1 because it's
Title is gonna be most ugly Asian.
yeah. Alright, so you go over 1 because
One, yes.
you go to the F line, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah, that's 4.
4, yeah. You go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I just can't see
You
you.
go down to the G line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's -5. Go over this way. 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
that's how this
5. Then 1, 2.
What's the G? I went to the G instead of the F, and that's why I got sick.
Wait, 4?
It's G instead of the F. You know what it is? Like instead of going up to the F.
Come here.
I like this function.
Anybody else don't get it? Come here, come here, come here.
I feel dumb, man.
Okay.
He didn't answer when he said it is positive.
Okay, so what is f of 1? That's gonna evaluate that. That's 1, right?
Yeah.
And what is the y value for f
4.
function?
4.
So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna say f of g of 4. Are we okay here?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna go to 4. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna go g function. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's equal to f of -5. And the -5, I'm gonna go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5. And what's my f function? My f function is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay.
God.